So if someone wanted to attract more money in their life, what's something that they can do today, right now, in the immediate, that would allow them to get more money in their life within the next few days, months, or even years?
Manifesting wealth. Well, let's talk about the difference between wealth and manifesting money. So let's just get right down to it. Let's talk about money. I mean, you got to pay the rent. You know, there's certain obligations. We still live in a world where we exchange currency. You know, I remember an episode from Star Trek, if you remember the Star Trek series, and I remember Captain Picard had a guy that came from the past, and the past was in 2000, the decade that we're in. And he got beamed up into the time era where Captain Picard was now on the Star Trek, and it's just thousands of years from now. And Captain Picard was taking this guy on a tour of this big ship, the Enterprise. And the guy was just blown away because he came from our time where we're talking to right now. Captain Picard showing him all this stuff, shows him the holograph room and all this kind of stuff. The guy just stops and goes, "This is just blowing my mind. How do you pay for something like this? How do you accumulate enough money to build a fleet, let alone one ship like this?" And Captain Picard, because he lived in another time, he got taken back and he goes, "Oh, forgive me. That's right. You come from an era and a time when people still exchanged value for currency." Now, I thought Gene Roddenberry was brilliant because he gave messages a lot in that series. We live in a time where we still exchange currency for doing something very natural, which is serving each other. You know, when I saw that episode and I related it back to my own company where accumulating cash is important. You know, I have a payroll of 70 people. I have a lot of obligations and bank loans. So it was really important to have your attention on the fruit, to gather enough fruit, which is the cash, to make sure that the company keeps sustaining itself. But I noticed something. Every time I got worried about the fruit, every time I got worried about the scarcity or how the life would unfold, and sometimes we have good weeks and sometimes we have tough weeks, I noticed that I would get contracted and there'd be pain in my body. When I focused on literally, and what was the best teachers for me is because we treated children 4, 5, 6 years old. A lot of times they were sick, they were ill when they came to us. When we focused on serving the kids, when we saw the eyes of a mother who went to 3 or 4 offices who would not see them because they were governmentally funded, and they came to us, and the gratitude we got, I became wealthy. And I realized that this was watering the tree. This was the service. And I was fortunate enough to devise systems that would attract the people that I'd want to work with who also knew that, who would come from that place, who was not there for a paycheck. They were there for something greater. The sense of gratitude they got by following a path of service. And you know what? What happened for us is because I was fortunate enough to attract people like that and create systems and policies where we made that the vision. We made that the most important thing every single day and got our attention off of the need for the fruit. We got our attention on, like Mother Teresa did, taking up one at a time, serving one person at a time. And when we did that, our attention was not on the fruit and the scarcity of it. And you know what happened? We built an orchard. There's always enough fruit, but you've got to love watering the tree. That to me is wealth. That is absolute wealth. When you have that attitude and you work, whether you are at the bottom of the heap or at the top of the heap or in the middle of the heap as a manager, whatever environment you're at, you've got that choice every waking moment. You may not be there in a month, you may not be there in a year. Life may present you opportunities to move forward. But the kind of opportunities that life will present you will directly reflect how you operate today. If you operate today out of scarcity, out of worry, not enough cash, out of anger, out of blame, and you move this environment and you go seek another environment, what you take with you is that conditioning. And I promise you, life will keep reflecting back to you till you open up the lens of life and see another way. If you are where you are right now, though you may say, I have no power to change anything here, you have power how to communicate, how to express, and how to see through different eyes. Look to see what we did, and there's always going to be enough fruit, and you will attract it, the opportunities will come, and you will seize them.